Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. If you are a first-year grad student and you're feeling a little overwhelmed by dense, intimidating computer vision research papers, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to completely demystify one of the most famous, paradigm-shifting papers in modern AI. And we're going to do it by focusing strictly on the core intuitive concepts that drive all that scary-looking math. The paper is titled, You Only Look Once, Unified Real-Time Object Detection. But before we get totally into the weeds here, I want to hook you right up front with this absolute jaw-dropping statistic straight from the paper, 155 frames per second. Just let that sink in for a second. For context, before this research came out, object detection models were painstakingly slow. Like we're talking some models taking 40 seconds just to process a single image. A single image. This paper introduced a system that could accurately identify objects in a live video feed at 155 frames per second. That is the blazing speed that finally, literally, made real-time computer vision a reality. And honestly, it all comes down to the paper's incredibly iconic title, You Only Look Once, or YOLO for short. That single phrase, it represents a complete paradigm shift in how computers actually see the world. You see, this wasn't just some slight optimization of existing code, not at all. It was a fundamental rethinking of the entire architecture. They threw out the old rules of object detection to build something that acts incredibly close to actual human vision. So, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the original object detection problem, the YOLO breakthrough idea, how it actually works under the hood, the results and trade-offs they found, and finally, why this all matters to you today. Okay, section 1, the object detection problem. To really grasp why YOLO was such a massive deal, we have to start with the frustrating, kind of clunky bottleneck that existed in AI before 2016. The paper draws a really great contrast between the old way of computer vision and the human way. Think about how you and I see things. We can glance at an image and just instantly process what objects are there, where they are, and how they're interacting. The human visual system is insanely fast. But the old way computers did this, well, they used methods like RCNN, which basically repurposed standard image classifiers to perform detection. They were relying on these really clunky multi-stage pipelines that, again, took up to 40 seconds to process one single image. To really visualize why that old way was so bad, let's use what I like to call the cardboard tube analogy. Imagine you're tasked with finding and counting all the dogs in a crowded park, okay? But you are forced to look through a narrow cardboard tube. You'd have to scan the park inch by inch, or maybe guess a couple thousand specific spots a dog might be, walk over to each one and check. It would take forever, and worse, because you're only seeing a tiny patch of grass at a time, you have zero global context. You might actually mistake a furry brown coat sitting on a bench for a dog. And that is exactly what the old sliding windows and region proposal algorithms were doing. Moving right along to section 2, the YOLO breakthrough idea. This is the paper's beautiful aha moment where the researchers essentially said, yeah, let's just throw away that cardboard tube entirely. By taking in the entire scene in a single glance, the computer now gets to look at the entire park globally. Just like your human brain, the AI instantly grasps the context of the whole image. It can simultaneously map out the locations of a person, a dog, and a horse all at once. It's finally seeing the forest, not just the individual trees. So the absolutely crucial point here is how the authors reframed object detection. They turned it into a single regression problem. And I really want to highlight that word, single. They completely replaced that Frankenstein multi-stage pipeline of region proposers and classifiers with one unified neural network. It goes straight from the image pixels to drawing bounding boxes and deciding what the object is, boom, all in one single evaluation. All right, section 3, how YOLO actually works. Let's take the paper's dense methodology and translate that math into simple visual components you can easily wrap your head around. This right here is the golden rule of YOLO. The network divides the input image into a grid. Specifically, in the paper, they use a 7x7 grid. And here is the rule. If the center of an object falls into a specific grid cell, that specific cell is uniquely responsible for detecting that object. So if the exact center of a dog falls into one specific grid square, that exact square is the one that handles the detection for the dog. Simple as that. Now, if you're new to reading these papers, you might see something like a 3D tensor output of S by S by B times 5 plus C and feel your eyes just glaze over. But don't panic. Let's simplify it. Just imagine that one single grid square we just talked about. Imagine it exploding out into a 30-slot list of numbers. The first few slots, they just hold the coordinates for a bounding box and a confidence score. The next few slots hold a second bounding box. And the remaining slots are literally just a probability bar chart asking, is this a dog, a car, a person? That's all a tensor really is here, just an organized stack of these lists for every single grid square. And to train this model, the authors present equation 3. It is a massive, very scary-looking block of summation math for the loss function. But again, we don't need to panic. It is actually just an intuitive 3-step grading rubric for the AI. Bucket 1 is coordinate loss. Basically, where is the object? It punishes the AI if it draws the box in the wrong place. Bucket 2 is confidence loss. Is something actually there? This punishes the AI if it hallucinates an object in empty background space. And bucket 3 is classification loss. What is it? Like, if there is an object, did you mistakenly call a dog a car? It's just 3 simple questions combined into one final score. Section 4. The results and trade-offs. Let's look at what the researchers actually proved with all this, and of course the compromises they had to make to achieve that crazy real-time speed. Because YOLO looks at the entire image and actually has that global context we talked about, it slashed background hallucination errors dramatically. The old system, FastRCNN, mistook background noise for actual objects 13.6% of the time. YOLO dropped that down to just 4.75%. That's a huge improvement. The trade-off, however, was in localization. Because YOLO imposes those strict spatial constraints with its grid system, it slightly struggled with precisely localizing tiny objects. Think of something like a flock of small birds. But here is where it gets really magical, and it's probably my favorite part of the paper. Because YOLO learns generalized representations of objects, rather than just memorizing localized pixels, it proved incredibly robust. They trained the AI on natural photographs, right? But then they tested it on abstract Picasso paintings and the famous Scream painting, and no way it actually worked. It successfully generalized the concept of a person or a dog across entirely different artistic domains. Finally, Section 5, Why It Matters Today. As graduate students, why does a paper from way back in 2016 matter to you right now? Well, because this paper is quite literally the foundational bedrock for the real-time AI world you live in today. By proving that object detection could be treated as a single regression problem, YOLO paved the way for systems that demand zero latency. Self-driving cars navigating highways at 70 miles per hour, responsive robotics picking fast-moving parts off an assembly line, real-time assistive camera devices for the visually impaired, they all rely entirely on the blazing speed and global reasoning that this architecture introduced. I'm going to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. At a time when everyone else in the AI field was trying to make their multi-stage pipelines just a little bit faster by adding more complex band-aids, these researchers just threw out the pipeline entirely. Remember this paper's ultimate lesson as you go into your own future research. Sometimes the most breathtaking innovation doesn't come from added complexity, but from breathtaking simplicity. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the confidence to dive headfirst into your next research paper.